Today is day 5 of boot camp using BookwormPup64. Today I'm going to be mainly talking about how to set up and use rox-filer. So on a default setting, default appearance of rox-filer looks like this on a bookworm, but I prefer some basic configuration changes from this. So we can right click on the rox-filer and then go to the options, and again, this is my preference, so I'm going to quickly go through the basic setup from default settings. So everything looks good here. Always resize is good. New window, I want the styling to be fairly consistent, and we want to icons view is fine. Show hidden files is fine. Icon view I don't usually use, so we'll just skip that. List view, I should have said icon view, we go to small, and so that's automatic icons. That's file. List view is the one that I meant to say that I don't usually use much. So size, permissions, and owner and group is pretty much type. You really it's automatic in a sense that you can tell clearly the file from a folder in rox-filer, like most of the file managers. Tools, I prefer icons only. I prefer there's be no toolbar. That's my preference, because I use the keyboard extensively, so everything else is okay. Thumbnails, I like to have the thumbnails generated, and pin board. I think the only thing that I would just suggest is course. That makes lining up of desktop icons easier if you like to have icons on a desktop. So the use of custom fonts only refers to icon fonts, not the size of the icons within the rox-filer. So let me just make it a little smaller. So that's my preference. And then, so if you want to change the icon size, I have a separate video, and also I have a separate video on changing the background color of rocks, and for example very dark, and letters to be very white, and I'll put that under description, but that's a separate video. Iconize the windows we don't use. Desktop default is fine. Action windows, I usually like to click everything here. Recursive, merge, new, and ignore order, older. Drag and drop is fine, and my terminal of preference is xterm, so everything is fine. Menace here refers to file menu, so size of icon, so everything is fine. We want the terminal to open with a grave key. So grave key is a key right below the escape key. It's like a single quote, so that's fine. What I do prefer here is, rather than default terminal, which will be LX terminal, I prefer to have I copied from my FossaPup, so we'll just copy this and put that here. And then put it here. What this will do is it'll open up xterm, but not in the my xterm. Generally, if I just use super and T, it opens down here. But I want if the terminal opens within a rox, I want that to have a completely different appearance. So something like this over here, and you'll see that I'll try to demonstrate it, and it makes it very clear in that it's different how I started the xterm, and also it gives you distinct different appearance. And so I'll try to well, I'll demonstrate in a minute. So types is fine, and the icon theme is rocks now, but let me see if I can puppy flat is that's fine. Colors remains the same, compatibility remains the same. So okay, and then let's see what happens. Let's go to another folder, for example, and then I'm going to open up xterm with a grave key. So grave key, let me just do it again, grave key, and you can see that for one, the placement of xterm is very different. And it tells me right away that I've opened a xterm within the etc folder, and then appearance is to my liking. So this is what I prefer, and that's what that does. Let me just come back, go back, and then go back. And I think that that's the basic configuration that I wanted to go over. No further configuration changes of rox-filer can be done with the menace2 file, which is in .config, rox, sourceforge.net, rox-filer, and menace2. So I'll just go ahead and drag it here. And it makes it easy, particularly regarding a keyboard use in the rox. So for default setting, there's options which is frequently accessed, does not have a Control and O, which I prefer, and then display, particularly save current display setting. Although it says the Control D, is usually nothing's there. So I Control D is very useful. So usually there isn't any Control D here. So to make that appear, what you need is to manipulate the menace2, and then we can go way up to the top. And first thing is I want to have grave key activated. So grave key is going to open up the terminal in rox folder. So that needs to be activated, and likewise I also want to activate F4 key to close rox window, because eventually I prefer just F4 to close any app, but that needs to be entered in JWM rc-personnel file, but that's for later. So we'll just go ahead and go down, and then here primary Control O, we want to activate it. So, and then Control D apparently is I've already activated. So usually is there is no you need to put this in to get it activated. So you can see what's above it is the original default, and it's a little bit of a modification of primary D that I made just to get it all correct. So we'll just go ahead and close this, and then we need to because of it's the menace2 of the rox, we need to reboot to get these all activated. And we're gonna talk about this placement of different rox. So right now let me just move this. I want the root level rox to open. So this is a root level folder to open about here every time. So what we can do is you can go ahead and place where we want it, and then Control D to bring up that display properties, and then we're going to say OK, and then simply Control 1. So Let me just go ahead and next, every time I frequently deal with I want the download folder to be open, so I can just roughly place where I want it again, and then Control D similarly, and ALT-O to OK it, and then we're gonna type in this time Control 2. So now 2 is memorized with the folder placement. So we'll go to tap in 1. So we'll go there and tap 2. Then it opens here. So you get the idea. So that's how you can place a different rox folder with a control 1 or control number. So let me just go back. Now the next thing, next item I want to go over is there's a title bar here, so in a rox, and I like to have that removed, because on a default setting of Bookworm you have a maximize and minimize already. So example, default setting of Bookworm is super left, we'll put it on the left side. Super right arrow puts it on the right side. Super up maximizes it. Super up again brings it back to the normal. And super down hides the active folder. So that's how it works. So what we want is to go ahead and eliminate the title bar altogether, since I won't really need it. But once you eliminate it, you may be wondering how we're going to move the window. So you can simply move the window without a title bar of any app in PuppyLinux with a ALT key being pressed, and then left mouse, and then drag. So you can move it with again without a title bar. So given that, what we can do is we can add a note title in a .jwm folder personnel file. So we can just drag that here, which is I've already done that, and then we can look at the we can wrong. We want this to open up, so we can go ahead and look at the personnel file. So if we look at the personnel file, this file is very important in keyboard binding setup. So let me just make things slightly easier for me. Is right now I have to type A and F, ALT and F4 to close any application. So for example, right now, if I wanted to close this rox, I have to type in ALT F4. But I prefer just F4 to be the key to close an app. So what we can do is copy this just for my we'll just move it like this with a mouse, and then rather than key mask, and when you want to have just a single key, you have to change it to key, and then eliminate the first one. Key is F4, and then is closed. So a single key of F4 from now on will close any active app. So that makes it easier for me. And maximize, minimize, we can delete it because of super, and well, we'll just go ahead and skip that part. And then we're talking about no title. So here is a little, what we can do is, what we need to do is find the class name for the app that we want to have, for example, no title. So what we can do is go ahead and make a separate, just for clarification's sake. We'll deal with this, and then for now we won't bother with the centered, just or maximize or no border. So we'll just concentrate in, but we want this here is a rox-filer to have no title bar. So so the class here, what we need is find a class name of rox-filer. So what we can do is place this on the side, and we'll start the rox again. Now to find the class name, what we have to do is start a terminal, and then give it a command of xprop, and pipe that into grep wm class. You may not need grep, but we'll see. And let's see what happens if we run this. And we're gonna return, and then you see the arrow changes, and then the application of interest, in this case rox. What we want to do is just go ahead and click it on the title bar there, and then we're gonna get two names. So the first, in this particular case, it's same, but usually what I try to do is a class name is the second one here, is the one that usually works better. And if that doesn't work, you can try first one, but this is the rox-filer is what we need. So instead of a urxvt here, we're gonna replace that with the rox-filer. And then, since we made changes to JWM personnel, what we need to do is go ahead and terminal JWM restart ampersand, and then we reread these configuration changes. So now we'll go ahead and start the rox and see what happens. Now you see that there is no title bar. So this is what I prefer. And then again, I can move the window with a ALT being pushed with dragging with a left mouse click. Okay, I can certainly now close it with F4. I made a couple other minor changes on a JWM RC personnel file. Besides the fact that the rox-filer has no title now. Here, let me just start. So here's no title. When we look at the Firefox, for example, it has a prominent title, which is a waste of space. So I went back and then I got the class name, and then I wanted to put in a no title, so we'll go ahead and activate it. And furthermore, xterm right now has this not only the title bar, it also has the border, which I don't really need. So I made my minor changes here on no border and xterm. So let me see if this works. We'll go ahead and save it, and because we made changes in the JWM, so we'll just go ahead and so JWM restart, and then you notice right away that their xterm has no border, no title and no border here. So and the app rose up a little bit, so I'll have to go back into to lowering the app because I don't want this space down here. So, but let's just see what the Firefox now looks like. So Firefox now has no title bar, so that's That's pretty neat, I think.